Hooah. We are. We are here. Ooh. One moment, guys. What is good, guys? Mount Vernon Kid here. Welcome to another open mic Q&A. It is October 30th. Excuse me, I almost said 29th. It's October 30th. We are Old Hallows Eve. Is Halloween Eve. Tomorrow is Halloween. And I thought I'd knock out the last Q&A of today. Very much today. So here on time, actually, I said it was going to be 8:45. I got here 8:45. I am here and ready and waiting to get the pack in. So first and foremost, what has been going on? I hope everybody is well. And more importantly, so what has been going on my end? Well, I pretty much finished everything I said I was going to accomplish in terms of projects for the channel this week. Seen a couple of movies as of late. And no, I have not seen Black Adams yet. So I will be seeing Black Adams soon. But yes, I was spoiled about the mid-credit that Henry Cavill returned as Superman. Happy for Henry Cavill. Let me get my seat up a little bit more. Okay. There we go. Very happy for Henry Cavill to be back. He's back as Superman. I think that's really cool to see him back. And he literally went on his Instagram and said, "Yeah, I'm back." And it's funny, you know that he's back because he's already said, well, he after season 3 of The Witcher, that's it for him. He will be replaced as Gareth, and Liam Hemsworth will be taking over. I kind of find that a little weird. Who's taken over from Henry Cavill? Because, all honesty, Henry Cavill made that character in terms of even live. He made that character. So it's really interesting that he's going to be he's gonna replace Henry Cavill. DC Studios has some new blood in the house. New blood, and I really like what they're bringing to the table in terms of new blood. Very much indeed. I really do have a lot to say about that. So James Gunn and is going to be co-CEO of DC Studios, along with I'm forgetting the other guy's name. I think his name is Peter Safran. I hope I'm saying his name. So Gunn is the creative. Safran is the money. He's going to be producing the stuff. Looks like we could be getting some good work coming out for DC in a sense. I, for one, I think a lot of people drawn their own conclusions about the DC projects. Not all the movies were bad, and you got to stop comparing them to the Marvel stuff. You got to stop doing that. It's not always the case. You got to stop. I felt Snyder should have been. He's one that I feel like Snyder should have been gone. I've never really liked Snyder directing or doing superhero stuff because he just doesn't get it. So yeah, that's interesting to see Henry, and you can already tell that something's going down with Henry because, like I said, he's leaving that role. But yeah, this DC studio stuff looks fun. I mean, I'm happy for him. James, and do you know who James Gunn told first? The first person he told Kevin Feige. He told Kevin Feige the news, and Kevin Feige was very much happy for him. So once again, the whole BS of the Marvel DC rivalry out the window because it's stupid. I've always said it was stupid, and competition is good for business, yes, but it's stupid because people get so frustrated and do idiotic stuff about it. It's not even worth it. You and there were people in both of those companies that literally made it toxic, where to not just to the writers but also to readers, basically saying, well, you can't like DC if you like Marvel, or you can't like Marvel unless and you like DC. You know what I say to that? Go fuck yourself. I can like whoever I want to like. That's my business. That's my prerogative. That's that's a freedom in this country. I can like whoever I like. Correct. So yeah. So you see a lot of those guys that made the companies toxic have left. You know. Period. James Gunn still has things to do. He still got Guardians Volume 3. They just showed the teaser to the next the Christmas special, which I find hilarious and funny. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's that. Indeed. What else before I get to the questions? More rumors. Looks like Vision may be getting his own series, Vision Quest. There's rumors that Paul Bettany may be returning back as Vision. Now, when we last saw the Synthezoid, he was in a new body. It kind of went backwards. It's not going backwards. It's actually going in the right direction. He's the White Vision, which did happen in the comics. There was a White Vision, and then later on return. Um, this could be a good opportunity for not just Paul Bettany to spread his own wings as solo, but also we could see other synthesoid characters and people who've worked with synthesoids. Like we could see Robot Man, maybe Jim Hammond, Human Torch, um, Jocasta, but more importantly for me, I hope this is just the this is the birth of Vision, Vision's daughter. Uh, Trailer for Ant-Man Quantumania came out. I did a reaction to it. Go check it out. It was a good trailer. Getting to see Kang in full costume was great. And we got a couple more days before the last movie project for Phase 4, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So yeah, still some good stuff. Like I said, as of late, guys, I've been putting up some movie reviews as of late that I recorded. They're just audio reviews, no camera. Um, I put up a review of Hocus Pocus 2. I I am putting it up. I am going to put up a audio review of Halloween Ends. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I have a lot to say about that. Just my opinion. And I just recorded Mortal Kombat Snowblind, the third animated feature for Mortal Kombat. I like that one. This is the one that has Kenshi in it, so it was good. I enjoyed that. Didn't really like who is like the main antagonist, but yeah, it was good nonetheless. I Also have plans to sit down and watch Barbarian. Um, a lot of these videos, a lot of these movies I have on digital on my computer so I can watch it. So I'm looking forward to seeing Barbarian. Um, Malcolm watched it last night. I didn't watch it. So looking forward to that. I just put up some new comic reviews, guys. I put up my review for Superman 78. This is a Superman comic that's based in the Christopher Reeves universe, and Batman 89. Both were pretty good. Go check that out. And tomorrow, for everybody who's wondering, tomorrow will be a special Shotgun Saturday Fright will be up for Halloween. I chose to not put up Shotgun Saturday Fright yesterday, Saturday. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put it up. So I posted a post saying it's gonna be up uh tomorrow, Halloween, and we make it'll probably be the longest one I ever made because I'm gonna go probably six shorts. For those who don't know what Shotgun Saturday Fright is, Shotgun Saturday Fright is basically a segment that I do where I watch horror shorts here on YouTube, basically react to them. And the concept is you guys, the viewers, are supposed to keep count of which one scared me the most from the jump scares or looking away, things like that, cover my eyes. You know, last week I had some good ones. Uh, there was a good werewolf short in there, which it was great, and things like that. And they were great. And speaking of werewolf, what's some of your favorite werewolf movies, guys? You want to know some of mine? My top five? There's a link right there in the description. Showcases my top five werewolf movies. And then after that, I did my top five favorite vampire movies. So you can go check that out. It's part of the opinion spot. Good stuff. So yeah, guys, I've been busy in terms of projects that have been putting out. Been cranking out the projects from my Patreons who've been asking me to do stuff. So I thank all you, your patrons are great. Those in my Uber Pack members because they are part of the pack here on YouTube, and also the pack. They also gain a little like they get a promotion because they joined the Patreon up there. So that's good. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Uh yeah. No. They showed the first image of the Power Rangers reunion. I'm looking forward to seeing that. A lot of the classic members returning, including we get to see introduced to Trini's daughter. An actress is going to play Trini's daughter, basically implying that Trini had a daughter. Uh, but we all know the actress who played her, she passed away. So that's going to be interesting as well. I please no comments, questions about Kanye. I'm not in the mood to be talking about that man right now. So please no Kanye questions. I am not in the mood. Not in the mood for that guy. He right now. Um. So yeah. Outside of that, like I said, it's Halloween Eve, All Hallows Eve, and let's get to these questions, shall we? This should be a lot of fun, in my opinion. But let's look at some of these questions. Let's see. Happy Halloween, happy Old Hallows Eve. Yeah, well, yeah. Happy Halloween, Chris. Well, it's not Halloween yet. It's Halloween Eve. So, but yeah. Uh, Take it from Cyborg to come with these what there were questions. Okay. Always. What Marvel characters would Black Adam be good friends with? None of them. You really think he'd be good friends with one of these guys? Another ruler? No way. Uh, I'm currently watching it. CAW wrestling show. Okay. Perry King. Which comic would you read? Would what the hell? Oh, okay, hold on. Sorry about that. Um, which no, forget you. Stop. Which I just missed it. Um, which comic book would you read on Halloween? Marvel Zombies or DC versus Vampires? Um, neither, because I haven't read Marvel versus Zombies, DC versus Vampires, and Marvel Zombies I like, but I don't. What the hell? And sorry about that, guys. I keep getting do not disturb. Damn it! Keep getting disturbed on my phone. Let's see. I'll just put that. Don't disturb. Um, I don't really read it like that kind of books on. If I'm reading anything on Halloween, it's usually a Stephen King book or something like that. There you go. Hey Chris, hey Marion. I want DC Studios to succeed. I want them to see. I've always wanted them to succeed. I just feel like some of the stuff they need to get rid of. Um, there's this helps. Batman v Superman had what I like to call Spider-Man 3 syndrome, aka cramping too much into one movie. Absolutely, way too much. Why do you think Samurai Jack? What? Why do you think Samurai Jack will not trust Spawn? You mean why do I think? Why do I think wouldn't trust? I don't know. I never asked that question. Ray Fisher got screwed over. Which horror game would you play on Halloween? Even on Halloween, guys, I don't play or play games or read horror stuff. I read horror stuff just throughout. It doesn't. It's not just Halloween. I just read it or play if I feel like it. Right now, I'm getting back into playing. Getting back on Dead by Daylight right now, so I'm playing that. As horror based. So yeah, back on Dead by Daylight, definitely. Um, okay. Which character from Marvel do you think Eda from her from Owl House do you think she would be good friends with? Definitely see her hanging out with She Hulk. Eda, it depends on what she wants and who she wants to hang out with. That's I don't really think she'd hang out with She Hulk. Especially if it ain't got nothing to do with magic. Think about it. What she is. What is she? Magic. Yeah, she'll more want to hang out with somebody who's got magic. Not. What's your favorite Treehouse of Horror episode? Oh Jesus, that's tough and that's hard because I don't watch Simpsons like that anymore. So I could barely remember a lot of those Treehouse specials. Um, I know one of them that I did like was the one where uh, Homer thought, I think it was the apocalypse, and he was the only man alive, but he found out the others were uh, zombies or so, and he was running around as naked, singing "War." What is it good for? I forgot the name of it. It was pretty funny. Hey, I joined Mr. Multiverse at Patreon. Which wait, Quentin Blake. Hey, I joined Mr. Multiverse at Patreon. Which one I send requests to? Um, Ty's Patreon. If you want to request a video for him, you go to his last one. If you want to, with me, it's different. Um, if you look at my Patreon and you look at the the requests are the lower ones. They're the last ones. So you got for me it is it is basically the memberships are a little different. But but they don't start ones that request things for me to do don't start until you reach um when you go down to uh they're evil they're leveled in terms of a wolf pack. So you could start with the least one, which is Omega, and that's just just supporting. And then there's a gamma level. That's when you basically can ask me questions. You can make me. You could either have me do a 20 rapid fire questions, or you can write 50 questions, and I'll do one solo Q&A of just all your questions. And then there's a beta level, and then beta is become probably the most that everybody's doing. I have two at the last one, alpha level, but I feel like people just do it to support, because nobody's asked me anything for when I alpha is like you can request like 10 videos from me and I'll do it for you. And nobody's done it yet. Nobody's It's all comes from beta, which you can request 4 videos from me. Gamma is different because that has to retain to comic related stuff. If you want me to do like comic related things, then yeah, do that one. But yeah, it's Ty's last one. That's the one that you request things for. Do you see Cyborg? Do you see any of the Runaways or Young Avengers joining the Teen Titans? Why would they join if they have their own team? There's no need for them to join if they have their own team. Do you think Johnny Depp would be a good Sinestro? No, I wouldn't. The other outside of Mark Strong was not a bad Sinestro. He just didn't play Sinestro. The person I could see playing Sinestro would be Luke Evans. I think he could nail that. Nail. Uh, nail. Absolutely nail. Um, nail Sinestro. Caroline asks, I wish I could see Multi's Patreon videos, but I can't pay for them. Well, he puts them up on YouTube. Go to his YouTube. Anytime he puts his stuff up on YouTube. The Patreon requests, they are up on YouTube. You can watch them. They're there. Unless you are looking for exclusive stuff, then yeah, you're not gonna. And that's the same thing that me. I'm about to start exclusive stuff as well. So you know, the request stuff will always the Q&As. The request stuff will always be. I'll put them on both Facebook and YouTube and Patreon. But there are going to be some exclusive stuff that yeah, you just for $1 you can join and you'll see it like that. And don't think, guys, that the Patreon. For me, what I do with the Patreon is it goes back to you guys. In terms, especially with my super geek sweepstakes. I'm really still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that sweepstake stuff. Like where I come on live and pull, and the way you enter. So hard. The idea is still the way you enter the sweepstakes. For me, will be always commenting on the videos that I put up because that counts as a vote. And I put your name in like a bowl, and at the end of the month, when I'm doing the final Q&A, I will pull out and pull the winner out, and you'll get basically the prize is geek box that is worth. I think I said it was going to be worth $175. So I'm going to be putting stuff in there, that goodies in there for people. That's my way of giving back. That's kind of what the Patreon will also be for. Uh, Warhawk. Warhawk. What team ups did you have doubts about? Doubts about being good, but you ended up liking. Let's see. Team ups. Do they have to coexist in the same universe, or can they be? Because honestly, one team up that I've been very disappointed in, I was a little disappointed in, is the Batman Ninja Turtles. I was disappointed in that because they made Batman and the rest of the Bat family look superior to the Turtles. Yes, I get it. Batman has 50 more years on the Turtles, but them 40 years do matter. And they came off like novice compared to the Bat family. And I was like, nope. Um, a crossover that wasn't really like, I think the Superman Fantastic Four crossover, I was like, really? Like, why him in the Fantastic Four? But I actually liked the book. I was like, okay. That's one of them, definitely. The what is the most unfair boss fight in fighting games? Oh, that's easy. For me, it's probably Street Fighter 3. Gil. I hate Gil. Gil's the cheesiest final boss character ever. Everything is two hit combo. I was like, what the? And then if you beat him, resurrection, he come back. I'm like, what the? Pisses me off. um, what will Ida think of? What would Ida think of Spawn? I want to stay away from him. That's it. Uh, ever been like really comfortable in bed? Yep, that happened today. I was supposed to be up by 11 a.m. and I 10, and I slept in a little long because I was just so comfortable, and I had to get up, so it was just like get up, get up, get up, get up, and then I finally got up. Um, let's see, or crossovers count. Oh, okay, they do count. Well, there you go. That was one of them. One that I just knew we're probably going to nail it was this Batman, the Spider-Man and Batman, the Batman and Daredevil. Like those were just obvious they were going to be good. Um, I really enjoyed the Superman Darkness. I thought that was cool. The Batman Darkness, the Hulk Darkness, that was interesting. The Wolverine Witchblade, I loved. Even the Witchblade Tomb Raider, I loved. They were classics. Um, what if Freddy Krueger was a villain in Neil Gaiman's Sandman? Okay, well, he wouldn't. Yeah, he'd be. mm, Depends on a little bit. What was it? I was just on your Patreon and wouldn't answer and wouldn't answer and wouldn't the answer to your Spider-Man DC Comics question be sideways? Wait, what? Wait, I was just on your Patreon, and to wouldn't the answer to your Spider-Man DC Comics question be sideways? Oh, you're talking about you're talking about the video that I think it was Lorenzo Smalls he had asked me to do. He was like, uh, he said, would if Spider Man was created for DC instead of Marvel, would he be as popular as he is now? And I absolutely said absolutely he would be. Absolutely he would be. If Steve Ditko and Stanley created Spider-Man for DC instead of Marvel, would he be? Yes, he would. Everything staying the same, he'd still be. Yep, absolutely. It wouldn't be sideways. Not at all. The only thing that would be somewhat different is the creating the villains, because not all the villains were created by Stan Lee. So that's the difference. Um, Caroline, what do you think of Emperor Belos as a villain in the Our House? Once again, guys, I am behind on Our House, so you guys ask me Our House questions too much, and I tell you all the time, I'm not watching it right now. I'm behind on it. I'm catching up. It's too much stuff I watch, so I don't. Whenever I get the time, then you'll know. But I am so behind on. I haven't even finished watching all of season 2. So there you go. And I'm not gonna force myself to just watch it when I'm not in the mood to watch it. Um, if Young Justice gets renewed, what are you looking forward to seeing in the next? That cliffhanger ending. That cliffhanger, just seeing Supergirl with Darkseid. They played it up kind of like what they did in the comics, but I would love to see Clark in them's face to realize that his cousin has been on Earth and he hasn't known about it. Quentin, I want to see this crossover Spawn and Hexbin Hotel. Okay, what is that? I don't know what Has Been Hotel is, so somebody clue me in on that one. If you was Batman, and let's say your brother Malcolm, you're missing an L, bro. It's Malcolm. I don't like. Sorry, I'm being a grammar hound. Was Robin? Would you would you kill the Joker for torturing him? Well, it depends on which Robin. Malcolm would not be Malcolm would not be Jason Todd. No, if Malcolm would be my Robin, he would be Dick Grayson. He wouldn't be Jason Todd, because he's not a hothead and he's not a fool. Malcolm would either be Dick Grayson or Tim Drake. He would not even be nowhere near. So that whole question gets cut right now. Um, so no, I'm not. That right there, you dropped it right there. Malcolm would not be Jason Todd. He is Dick Grayson or Tim Drake, and none of those two have ever been in turmoil of Joker. They usually get the upper hand on him. Sorry. Should I build a decent following on YouTube before going to Patreon? Yes. Because I closed my Patreon the first time I posted, because when I started later on, everybody kept saying, "Dude, you need a Patreon. Do a Patreon." And I kept hearing everybody say it. So I did it, and I told people, "Oh, okay, I got a Patreon." Nobody came through it. So, and then I restarted it back up, refined it a little bit, and people started coming. I'm very proud of the members I have. I don't hide how many members I have. I have 11 patrons. Patrons. I have 11. Not even I'm not I don't hide it. I don't sugarcoat it. I have 11. And I'm happy for that 11. Hopefully I'll get more, but in the meantime, yeah, those 11, they're doing it. Have you been watching Bleach thousand? No, I haven't. It's on my list to watch. I have not watched that yet. What would it be? What what would be the Marvel equivalent version of the Light from Young Justice? Uh, there's too many to even go in. Just take your pick of any villains. There you go. And they kind of had it with the intelligentsia, the cabal, all those villain groups. There you go. Uh, what would Ida think of Dr. Fate and John Constantine? Uh, Ida would definitely would try to want to wear Nabu. I could tell you that much. She definitely want to try to wear that and like, can I wear it? Can I touch it? Can I? John Constantine would be different because I think she would like his kind of swagger, as an exorcist, but still more Dr. Fate definitely. I like Red Hood better as I like Jason Todd better as Red Hood. Yeah, he's made that character more of his own. Like, yeah, I never was a big fan of Jason Todd even when he came out in comics first time. But when they first introduced him, he was stealing the Batmobile's hubcap. I get it. It was a part of where his environment, but when he became Robin, he was just difficult, and you could tell people weren't really liking him, and you could tell in some cases DC wanted to leave his fate up to the viewers, the readers. Call this number if he lives. Call this number if he dies. It was just like, yeah, and how many people said no? Kill him off. Boop. There you go. Zatanna versus Firestar who would win? I don't know I don't want to see them fighting. Why would they fight? Why would Zatanna and Starfire fight? They know each other. They're not gonna fight. Nah. You guys know me. I don't like superhero battles. I don't like it. The ending of Michael Myers stories that I want is even though he's gone in some shape, he'll always haunt Haddonfield. All right, look. I wasn't gonna talk about ends, but ends was not what I expected to be, and especially focus focusing on that punk kid that was in it. I just no, that wasn't it for me. Will there be a remake or another reboot? Yeah, absolutely. The franchise makes money. Of course, they're gonna reboot it or do something more with it. I wouldn't mind if they do another set of movies, but branch it from another. For me, I always felt like what would be cool is if they go from they branch from the old timeline and branch with Danielle Harrison's character grown up. She's still around. She's like 40 now. She's like in her 40s. And we get to see her as the lead chasing her uncle or still in that timeline. I like the idea of having okay, this timeline of Halloween, stuff like that. Halloween 70, the original is always like the catalyst, and then the branches start. You know, 2018 was great. That was really good. Basically saying, okay, one, and that's it. Then 2018. Basically, what I love what Jamie Lee Curtis said after that terrifying night, they basically the way she put it, and I love how Jamie Lee Curtis put it. She said they basically bandaged her up and she went back to school. No kind of trauma, or still having a trauma, but stuff like that. And she had all that trauma, and I like that approach. The way what happened to Michael is not a stretch to believe. Okay, this dude could probably, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but basically how they did it was they cut his arteries and he bled out. Then they threw him in a trash compactor. Do you miss comic artist Michael Turner? Yes, I do. I miss Mr. Turner a lot. Michael Turner was a great artist, and I loved him. He's one of my favorite comic artists. I wish I had gotten to meet him, but I do support everything he's created. I mean, one of the things he created, I'll show it to you right now. I got this when I uh, did on Patreon. I think this was like my third thing I supported on Patreon. It's all of Michael Turner's creations. It's called Michael Turner's Creations, Fathom, Soulfire. It's like a big. Oh, God. There you go. It's got all his works in it. You know, Michael Turner's art. I mean, see, like all his artwork. Fathom was a good book. This was a really good book. That was a good story. So this is a big, heavy boy right here. But yeah, I love Michael Turner. I was real sad that when I heard he passed. You know, I think I've forgotten where I was when they said he had passed. But I do miss Michael Turner. I hope you're not gonna plan on retiring from YouTube anytime soon because I really enjoy your content. Uh, if there's always creativity, there's always something creative that I want to talk about, and I'm always challenging myself. You know, the guy that I'm seeing in the camera, you can't see it, but there's the camera right here, up here, and I'm seeing the monitor. What's that guy looking back on me? That's my toughest opponent. That's it's true. It's legit. I know you may have heard Rocky say it, but it is true. The toughest opponent you're ever going to face in life is yourself, and that kind of motivates me when I the issue with me sometimes is when I watch some of these people on YouTube. They try to they do more than what they are, or try to be something they're not. And I fell into that category one time, and I was like, just be yourself, be what you are, who you are, and I've just done that. I don't hate when people say, "Dude, man, you should have more subscribers," blah 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 blah. I don't hate that, but I don't mind it, and I don't really care to a degree. I care about is more the content I put out and people engaging in conversations or not with it. You know, that's it. Cyber, do you see Carnage being an inmate in Arkham? Hell no. Hell no. Because they wouldn't know how to control the symbiote. That's not gonna fly. Unless someone tells them, well, either fire or Sonic will keep the symbiote at bay. Other than that, nope. That's gonna really come down to Batman kind of telling them, okay, keep this thing on him. But Carnage is not insane. He's psychotic, but he's a murderer. He's a serial killer. He's a killer. He belongs in jail. He belongs in prison, not in a asylum, a sane asylum, or they don't call it that no more. Quentin, how do you think? How do you think if you mean what would? Okay, wait, hold on. How do you think if you mean what would I think if Akuma survived DC versus vampires? I wouldn't be surprised. Cyborg, if Darkseid was in the Marvel universe, do you see him playing conflict with superheroes in the galaxy more than Earth? Little of both, especially if he's looking for the even if he was in the Marvel universe, even he's still looking for the anti-life equation. Yeah, he's gonna come in contact with a lot of different. I can see him definitely Apocalypse going to war with Asgard or something like that. Yeah. Sorry, guys. but I love cheese balls. Sorry. Pause on that. You know what I mean. Mm-mm. Do you miss Darwin Cook? I miss any people who contributed to the comic industry, even if I wasn't the biggest fan of theirs. Doesn't matter who they were. There's a part of me that will miss them. We lost George Perez. I'm gonna miss that guy because not only am I gonna miss him and thank him for his contributions, but I'm gonna miss him because it still haunts me to this day. I've had 4 opportunities to meet him, and I missed him, and it bothers me. It still bothers me. Which Disney villain do you think would has done worse, Scar or Shere Khan? I'm gonna say Scar. I mean, you killed your brother. They don't get no more dirtier than that. Shere Khan is just being himself. He doesn't like man. He's an animal. He doesn't like man. So yeah. Let me see. Where was I? Oh God, what did I? Um, Dang it! I forgot where I was. I hate when I reload and I miss the questions. Aha. No. Okay. Real. Do you think Joker actually cares about Batman in a way? Yeah, kind of. A little weird relationship, but yeah, I do. Warhawk, what would you like to see most in Tekken 8? The death of another machine. The death of either Kazuya or Jin. Damn it. You don't know how happy I was to see Hiachi die. I'm like, because they pulled that shit in the 5th one. And then at the end, he survived. It was like, wait, how the hell he survived an explosion? He's flying through the air, who gets jettisoned out, and he's landing. He's not even landing. He gets the what breaks his fall is solid marble tombstone. Now imagine the velocity you're coming down like this. Tombstone's right here. Let's say this cup is the tombstone. Okay. Bomb. Boom. You somehow fly out. You don't get burnt in the explosion. You fly out. And you're going crash. The impact alone would kill you. But it didn't kill him. He just woke. He's all dirty. And I was fucked up. I hated that. I want to see some new characters, some more new characters. That's another thing too. Norman Osborn would make a good Batman. Every Batman villain. I've said it before. You could take all of Batman's villains, all of Spider-Man's villains, flip them. Batman, all Batman, and say all Batman rogues head over to Marvel. All Spider-Man rogues head over to Gotham City. It would work. They work because that's just how eclectic both of their rogues gallery are. DC, Atlanta, and Wakanda's team up. That would be interesting. Or do you like the Mirrorverse in Star Trek? Mm. Caroline, who's the worst woman to piss off? Lady Shiva or Lady Deathstrike? I wouldn't want to piss none of them off. But I think Deathstrike may end it quickly for you, while Shiva may want to play with you like a cat with a ball of string. Just test her skills on you. Oh, yeah. None of them, but really, yeah, the Shiva worse. Marion, one thing that I've been loving about what they've been doing with Michael Myers in the new Halloween movies is that they show how what he's not what he has done to affect. That was stupid. The especially in this one, especially in ends. First of all, yes, in the second one, and Halloween Kills, Michael, the people's fear of him turned to blind rage. And I swear to God, if I heard that "Evil Dies Tonight" one more time by Tommy, I would have broke my TV. The TV's right there. You can see it right behind me. Brooke and I was like, "Oh my God, would you shut up with this Evil Dies Tonight bullshit?" So yeah. And then in the third one, people were hating on Laurie, calling them like it's your fault. The reason why Haddonfield's turned out like this, it's your fault for messing with a mentally challenged. I'm like, what? Where's this bullshit coming from? It's stupid. People. That's why I say Halloween Ends is full of stupidity. Cyborg. Do you see Cyborg, Superman, and Brainiac being good enemies to the Guardians of the Galaxy? No. Brainiac wouldn't care anything for the Guardians. Cyborg, Superman, maybe, but Brainiac, no. What is Brainiac's purpose? Knowledge. It's all about knowledge. At the age you are right now, what is your outlook on life now versus your life in the 20s? Come on. So I'm 40 now. When I was in my 20s, my outlook on life was pretty much just similar to how it is now. But I knew, things were going to be more challenging. I I wasn't getting handouts. It was about me. I had to do this. I had to pay for this. I had to pay the bill. I had to do this, thing like that. So yeah, it's just a lot of things. What if Optimus Prime and Mega shot Megatron and Hot Rod? What if Optimus Prime shot Megatron and Hot Rod in the first Transformers movie? That'd be funny. He was a brave soldier. We salute him. I think Kazuya and Jin will mutually kill each other, and Hachi could still be in their in the game like Joker. No, enough. Yeah, a flashback, yes, but present wise, no. I heard that Joker was in Injustice. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is he even in this game? Would Pinhead be a good villain for Spawn and the Darkness? Do you think the do you do you think has done worse? Who do you think has done worse? Joker or Green Goblin? Um uh I would say equally. I mean, Joker has killed somebody Bruce loved. Sorry, my hands. Um yeah, Bruce has and Norman has been involved as well in somebody. So I say equal a little bit. Quentin axes. I want the spawn. I want the spawn the show to come back. You mean the animated show? The animated show was great. I still have the animated show on VHS, both seasons. Yeah, I do. I still have him. Chief David did a great job voicing that character. He is who he is. Um, Still, to me, the very first episode, well, one of them, I love the episode with Overkill, and he came in, and then Overkill thought it was done, and Spawn just tracked him down and said, "It's round two, motherfucker." I was like, "Yeah, that was good. That was good stuff." We didn't get enough Angela though. She was only in one episode, and then we never saw her again. Now Angela is a Marvel property, no longer an Image. Do you think Valerie Rich and Amadeus Cho would be smarter than Lex Luthor, and would Lex how would Lex feel about it? Amadeus Cho is the eighth smartest person in the Marvel Universe, number eight. Lex is, I believe, is still considered. He's one of the top smartest people in, because there's always question is like we know who the third smartest person in the DC universe is. My man Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific. But it's always the question who's number two and number one. A lot of people will go back and forth and say, well, that's Batman and or Lex or something like that. So, but um Lex is just so egotistically, if he found out a kid was smarter than him, he wouldn't take that well. Could you see Ultron assimilating a, T-800, T-1000, T-1000 to use against the Avengers? That would be interesting. Um, how would the Avengers deal with a T-1000? I think they could, but they always make it seem like the robots made this thing and they're even scared of it. And if you go back and watch that second movie, I mean, he was literally a tank. He could do everything better than the T-800. And and Robert Patrick did a great, not even just great, masterful job as that character. Not once when he was, because if you guys know the story, Robert Patrick actually learned how to not blink when he shoots. So when you saw him shooting, he was never blinking. He learned how to do that. He was so calculative, the whole morphing into things, and most of his weapons came from stabbing. He was scary. He was scary. There was a couple of my cousins, younger cousins, that were scared of him. So yeah, that would do it. I think Ultron could. Ultron could do it. Probably assimilate for himself. Um, would Shiva really end things slowly? Hell yes, she would. Uh, Grand Regent Throng, everybody feared him, was justified. What if Michael Myers has a yellow uh, power ring? Uh, that would be, it would fit him, fear, but I don't think he would know how to use it. He wouldn't know how to use it. Can you see it now, Michael Myers? You possess, you pronounce fear and things like that. He'd probably just look at it and wouldn't care. I never get why Superman killed Green Arrow over a simple mistake in injustice, because he had already changed. Because he was not the Superman that everybody knew anymore. He became a tyrant, which to me is bullshit. As much as I like the Injustice universe, it's a falsy, because even if Clark lost Lois and his unborn child, his will is too strong to be broken to turn to dictatorship and things like that. He would never cross that line. That's why I think a lot of fans are just tired of it. Oh, the evil Superman trope. We've seen this before. It's tiring, you know. What are you What are you eating exactly? I was eating cheese balls. I love cheese balls. It's like one of my go-to snacks. I eat that all the time. Remember the scene in Spider-Man where Peter is in the ring with Randy Savage? Well, he wasn't Randy. He's Bonesaw, but he's supposed to be Crusher Hogan. That's the real wrestler that he fought. But yeah, it was great to see that. Macho Man, rest in peace. Macho Man loved Spider Man. He talked about that. They did an interview for him. Entertainment Weekly did an interview with him after the movie, and he talked about his love for Spider Man. So him to get called and to be in that movie, it was a dream come true for him. He loved it. Like, oh yeah, I'm going nowhere. Yeah, I'm the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Yeah, that was my dude. Macho Man was my man. That was my dude. Um, Hello, Chris. Happy Halloween. Well, it's not Halloween, Andre, but it's Halloween Eve. But yes, but Halloween, yes. Was there anything about kills you liked? Uh, I would say what I did like about kills was the return of a lot of old characters from that first movie. Except that was Anthony Michael Hall, but he didn't play Tommy. You know, but all that stuff that was good. Bringing back the old cast was great, but outside of that, it was just a massacre. So that's what it should have been called, Halloween Massacre or something like that. What do you think of the Emerald Princess from Legion of Superheroes? She's all right. She's cool. I don't read Legion of Superhero comics. I know the characters, but I don't read the books. Like I said, I have my favorite Legionnaires, but yeah, she's cool. I personally like Halloween Kills, but I can understand why some people had a problem with it. A lot of it just a lot of it just bothers me to the point where when they have Michael down, I don't understand why none of them just didn't shoot this dude in the head. Why do they go for the chest? Shoot him in the head. You can't survive without your brain. Like stab him in the head or something like that. Uh, Most scariest anime villain, Jonah Lieber from Monster. Okay, I'll take your word for it. So, how would Deadpool react towards Harley Quinn? They make. I could see Harley still with Joker, basically like Joker who, and be trying to get with Deadpool. Yeah, I could. Um, Well, Maza, do you have a Halloween tradition? Um, I used to. Don't have it that much anymore. I do, but I will say I do. For Halloween, I will try to read something Stephen King or watch something Stephen King at least once. So yeah. Oh, and I used to. I would say if I did dress up, always dress up as something good, not something bad. That's kind of was passed down to my mom. Like she never liked when I dress up as evil things for Halloween. She would always say, "Why are you dressing up as that? Like, do something good." Why no one didn't stop Hot Rod trying to save Optimus in the first place? He's stupid. You got Optimus killed. You fuck. I I make I make mummy dogs every mummy dogs. What are they? Hot dogs that look like mummy? That's kind of cool. Do you miss being in your 30s? No, because I don't have time to look back on that like that. I don't look at stuff like that. I really don't. Like, if there's something from the my 30s that I loved, I cherish that. But I don't look back on stuff like, man, I miss because I don't feel my age. I don't feel my age. I don't damn sure don't look my age. But again, it's just saying like, what does that look like? I mean, like if you look inside my beard, you can kind of see like white hair growing. Now, most people are like, oh my God, gotta get that. Look, oh my God, I can't let them see that I'm aging. I don't care. I actually like that. I actually like that. I got white in my hair. Like, just getting older. It's gonna happen. You know, so sue me. But I don't look at stuff like that. Hey, Soulless Trenchcoat was good. I like the Gotham Knights game. It's not the Arkham games, and have you played it yet? If so, what do you think? I don't have a PS5, so I can't play that. But I have watched enough online to see it looks okay. Um, I watched the ending and I was like, oh, I figured that's what they were going to bring Bruce back. I was like, oh my God, they brought him back. I see they cannot make a Batman game without having Batman in it. He was back, he died again. It is what it is. Warhawk, have you tried the Mountain Dew Voodoo 4? I'm not a big Mountain Dew drinker. Even the big flavors. I'm not. I'm not a big Mountain Dew drinker. So no, I haven't. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I go to like 7-Eleven, I'll get the Mountain Dew Baja, frosty. I will get that, but I'm not a big Mountain Dew fan. Marion, how would change how would change how would change how Superman becomes a villain in the Injustice? For me, it would involve a type of kryptonite, and it would be irreversible. Red kryptonite does make him somewhat evil, but again, the effects don't last. So you're basically talking about a kryptonite that will keep him dirty and keep him evil. And I don't mean dirty, I mean evil with bad thoughts. But still, I just don't need to see evil Superman too much. Do you watch? Did you watch Terrifier and Terrifier? I haven't. I've watched. I've watched the first one. I have the second one. I have it on my computer. I have to watch it. It's the crazy clown that comes kick. In my opinion, Homelander is the best evil Superman stereotype because he's one of the most powerful people in the universe, but on the inside, he's weak and insecure and has mother issues, daddy issues too. You know, I mean, he was a test tube, so you know, people like the boys. There's some people that love the boys and some people that don't. If you read the comics, that's fine. You know, it's just playing on. Macho Man loved being in Spider Man. He did his own stunts and got hurt, but kept going. He even rapped about it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he loved it. He loved being Spider Man. He loved being in that movie. Did you like Halloween Ends? The review will be up. I will probably put that review up after the stream is over, and you can hear for yourself. There you go. That's all I'm gonna say. But I will say, I mean, that movie screwed me over so badly to a degree that I had to rewrite. I had now I what was supposed to tomorrow of my audio crossover story short stories. Remember those? Remember when I announced that I was going to do that? The first one was going to be Punisher versus Michael Myers, Halloween of Punishment. What happened in that movie turned everything around. And I'm like, yeah, I got to rewrite this, and that's going to take a while. So now I pushed them back. Now that should answer your question. So what are you thinking? What do you think is the most problematic personality trait of Batman Bruce Wayne? He's paranoid. Got to get off of that real quick. Chris, is it just me, or do you love the feeling of Christmas? Just the snow outside, family coming. I love Christmas. I love Christmas is one of my favorite holidays. Um, it was a holiday that my late mother loved. That's why whenever Christmas comes around, I have more intense dreams about her, and things like that. We're always sitting by a body of water. I think I've told this story many times. Like there are certain holidays or the anniversaries of her death or her birthday, I will have intense dreams about my mother. So intense that I feel like I can smell her perfume, or if she's wearing something, I can smell it. And it's just a talk between mother and son, and we're just talking and almost like catching up, reminiscing, catching up on what she's missed for the past 20 plus years. And but we're always next to a body of water. And I've kind of researched into that. Why is that? And the best way I can describe it is water is a symbol of life. So it's a symbol. It gives us an element, a powerful element. It is an element that brings life. When we're in our parents' wombs, our mother's wombs, we were all in water at one point. So I get where this coming from. But I did research into that just to see. But I love Christmas. I do have Christmas traditions like family get together for a Christmas dinner, but it is Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, Christmas Story. Those like three Christmas movies I have to watch. Um, Die Hard, you could say sometimes, but those three that I just mentioned, they have to be watched. If I don't watch those at least one time at Christmas Day, I'm kind of a little sour. But that doesn't happen because there's like marathons during, so I don't. Quentin, you got to watch 80s gamer in the YouTube talk about. Oh, have I ever got? I think no, I have not. Do you think the next Spider-Man movie should have "friendly neighborhood" in the title? Uh, no. I would rather wanted to have like I could understand like "friendly neighborhood," but spectacular would be good as sensational. I don't always feel my age. Then again, I just turned 25. Well, congratulations. Yujiro Hama in the Marvel Universe. Oh boy, that's all I'm gonna say. Did you play? I have the Final Fantasy VII remake. There was no way I wasn't gonna get that. Tomorrow night I will be heading out. Candy dressed as Mick Foley. Poor Mick Foley. Andre, what do you think would be scarier, a killer clown or a killer mime? Killer mime, because you won't hear him coming. You want to see a killer? Go watch one of the Shotgun Saturday. Right, we see a killer mime kill this woman just because she wouldn't stay around to watch all the tricks. I was just like, this shit. Have you seen the house party trick? I seen that, and I ain't feeling that. That nah. I'll stick to my kid and play house party movies over that. I wasn't feeling it. I figured giving. I'd probably give I'd probably give Gotham Knights for its flaws if they get DLC characters. I don't know. I don't know if they will. What comic book character should Keanu Reeves play outside of Marvel and DC in image only? Well, he's returning as Constantine. Uh, image. I don't know. Probably maybe somebody from Spawn. I'm just trying to think of somebody. Speaking of Terrify, you named your you named your stream art. Art the Clown first appeared on Howard Ali. I'm guessing you're a fan of that movie. I have both movies. I need to watch the second one. I downloaded the Terrifier 2, so I have to watch it. Yeah, I really hate it when I see Christmas ads before Halloween. It's gonna start it. It's funny. Cervantes, De Leon, and Ivy, father and daughter. Always good to have a good bond with members of your family. That's true. Even the ones that you kind of don't like too much. But yeah, we all got black sheeps in the family, and I know I do. Every December, I watch Marge Not Be So Proud, Best Simpsons Christmas episode. Oh, have you seen the Black Adam movie? I just said, guys, I should have posted that on the post. I have not seen Black Adam. I do know the mid credit because that was spoiled to death, even by The Rock himself. Superman is back, and Henry Cavill is back as Superman. Congratulations, Warner Brothers. Do not fuck this man up. Don't do this man dirty. You did it already once. Don't do it again. But Henry Cavill has still said like that's not going to stop him from if he wants to play a Marvel character. But it probably will. He can't do both. He has to do one. What if Sephiroth was in our house? I can't see him in our house. I can't see him in our house. If the upcoming Super Mario Brothers movie does well, would you want a Zelda? Yes, I would want a Zelda. Shout out from Lou Sass Salt, uh, Mike G. Warner Brothers already did so many people dirty. Yet though, I don't know what the Batgirl stuff. Who knows? Maybe Gunn will and them will say we're going to release it because he'll be running that. Would you like to see Black Adam use the rock bottom in a lot? Yeah, that would have been funny. I mean, we see it in the people's eyebrow, you know. So, one moment. Let's see. I think Image comic character. I think the Image comic that should play is the Haunt. The Haunt is interesting. That's an interesting one. There's a part of me also say maybe kind of Jackie Estacado, but no. Then I'm like, no, not really. So no. Um, Mask and Play was good. What did you think of the debut of Ava Rain, Rock's older daughter? Yeah, Rock's older daughter made her debut last week. She calls herself Ava Rain now. We're talking about Simone Johnson. Uh, it's interesting. You know, she's on NXT. It's interesting. She's with Gacy's group. She's in a fucking cult. But I ain't gonna lie, her look is cool. Like when she removed the mask, so she's got red hair. One of her eyes is red. Like I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And so when she's looking at you, you're seeing her natural color eye on the one side, and there's this big red eye. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. We'll see where this goes. It makes me wonder, is she gonna be taking bumps or not? But we don't know. Right now, she seems pretty cool on the mic. She seems pretty cool and comfortable. So more power to her. Jagi is the weakest uh Hokage, but I like I like Keanu Reeves Constantine meets Matt Ryan's gonna that'd be interesting. It's gonna be interesting also to see Keanu come back because he is coming back as there's another Constantine movie in works. So it'd be really interesting. But he's playing a different version of what Matt Ryan plays the real Constantine. So you know Constantine's British. You know he's not American. So it'd be really interesting. I also wouldn't mind a Star Fox movie. More than likely, if the Super Mario movies do well, then yeah, we'll probably see those two characters uh, do well as well. Probably get so Link. They'll probably do something like that, and Star Fox. I mean, Star Fox for sure. He needs it more than Link does. Coolest horse in anime. Coolest. I don't look at horses like that, so sorry. Ava Rain should eventually work a program with Charlotte. Nah, not that early. That's eventually. She's still green. That's what NXT is for. So she can get comfortable on the mic, comfortable in the ring. You don't just throw that together. And with Triple H, knowing Triple H, he is not going to throw that right there. That's why I love what's going on. You know, Triple H is, he's building what he has, but bringing people back that felt got screwed because of the old man. You understand? Um, who should direct the Lobo movie? James Gone or Michael Bay? Who's James Gone? Is James? You mean James Gunn? Is James Gunn like a gun, not gone? Michael Bay, keep that motherfucker away from anything Marvel, anything comic related. Keep his ass away. You don't need him. There is no talks of a Lobo movie. Would I want to see a Lobo movie? Yeah, but there is no talks. All of yesterday, I was watching Mr. Bagwell's Neighborhood yeah, I watched him talk about how that came about on Chris Van Vliet's podcast. It was funny. I thought it was great. Is that your costume or work outfit? Why the fancy dress? Oh, I was I was uh I was somewhere else, so I didn't get to change. So I'm just ain't no costume. I was just out. So yeah, so I didn't change into more comfortable. I was just like, yeah, let me just stay in this. Ain't bothering nobody. Besides, I like black, so it's all black. Is Blue Beetle the movie still happening? Yes, that's still happening. That hasn't changed. That's still happening. They're almost done, I think, filming it or got to go into post production. Uh, favorite Rocky fight. I like the second Apollo fight a lot. Of course, him and Drago fight was great because that meant something. And his second fight with Clubber when he came back after Mickey died, we kind of fought differently. Mask and Play. Loved your top five list. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I had a lot of fun doing that, talking about my favorite werewolf and vampire movies. Uh, the werewolf one was probably I had more fun with that than the vampire one because it was pretty fun. What is Dog Soldiers? Never heard of it. You ain't never heard of Dog Soldiers, really? You need to watch it, my dude. Um, who said that? Mask and Play. You never watched Dog Soldiers? Okay, if you ever seen the movie The Descent, that horror movie Descent, the same guy who directed that directed Dog Soldiers. So basically, the synopsis of it is simple. It is about a group of British soldiers who are doing a training exercise in the Scottish Highlands. And unfortunately, their exercise gets ruined because, well, there's a pack of wolves, werewolves, that is, after them. And there's only one scene in the beginning, you don't see them at first. You don't see them. You just see from a point of view of them chasing. Then there's one point you get a kind of a clear shot at what these things are going to look like. But over time, it's just running, they're jumping and running, shooting badly, missing, and then more importantly, they get to this cottage thanks to another a woman who said she was a bio or animal expert, and she things like that. So they're held up in this house. A lot of their men died, and including their captain, who is their commanding officer, who's been cut. His whole like bottom half, was nearly sliced, and so his intestines are coming out. They crazy glue his intestines back in. It was crazy. So yeah, but they stay there inside of it. But when you finally get to see the werewolves, they're huge. You talk about like 9 to 8 feet tall. They're monsters, and you see them just running, and it's just crazy. It's kind of, but it was good. It was fun. It's a good movie. It's one of my favorite werewolf movies. Um, do you think Terry Crews will be a good actor for Lobo? No. If it was me, it would be Jason Momoa. Uh, what was your reaction when Vader turned on Palestine? Oh, Palestine and the return. Uh, a little shocked, but not really. Palpatine, excuse me. Travis, what would like Centurion's movie based on the cartoon? I don't think that's necessary. I wouldn't mind a remake cartoon series, but not a movie. Would Paul Rudd make a good Plastic Man? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Do you think Beast Boy can beat Yajiro? Hell no. Speaking of Terry Crews, I just found out that he was in WCW as part of a different invasion. Yeah, the I think it was when the football players came in, if I remember. Which DC characters do you see being Horsemen of Apocalypse? Take your pick, and more importantly, take your pick of heroes, because that's the biggest mistake Apocalypse always makes. He turns heroes into his horsemen, and it don't work. I'll be right back, guys. I need a bottle of water. Get mouth getting oops, mouth's getting dry. Malcolm made tacos. I'm, I'm sorry, I'm stuffing my face, guys. Malcolm made food. You're weird. No, I'm just messing with you. I didn't like The Descent 2. I felt like The Descent 2 did not that should have never been created. There was oh crap. There was no need for a second one. Not at all. Yeah, the first one was good. I sat down and watched the second one. I was like, I'm not feeling this. A lot of that was just out of place for me. I was like, wait a minute, like where's this old man coming from? What? Oh, yeah. It just was weird. Um, let's see. Where was I? Oh, will they ever bring Swamp Thing into the? I would love for them to do Swamp Thing, a new Swamp Thing movie. The show wasn't bad. I actually liked the show. The show was not that bad. But a Swamp Thing movie, that's something I probably James Gunn would get behind. We need the defender of the green. You know, we saw. I mean, look what they did with the defender of the Nexus. Man Thing. He looked great. Man Thing looked great. I love that, and I'm glad to hear that that's not all Man Thing we're going to see. Man Thing will be there. Will be more Man Thing in the future. Good. Uh, What was the most painful thing you ever seen Mo do the other Stooges? One for me is when he put Curly's head in the press. Yes, yeah, that, and it was like like a bar stool, like guys in the old bars, like they drop the like people so they can't get by, and Mo had put it and smacked it. I was like, God, that physical comedy they did was ridiculous. Um, and some of the time, just simple Mo just smacking them for no reason. Like I never get here, smack. I'm like, yo, Shemp, hit him back or do something. And what's really funny is, for everybody who doesn't know, they were legit family. They were family. They were family. Shemp and Mo were, I believe, brothers. Curly and I believe Larry married Mo's sister, or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, they were family. They were family. But you can see where that physical comedy comes from. I love Stooges. I can watch them too. Like classic, I could watch them all day. People ask me, okay, that's another tradition for Christmas. Outside of those movies I just mentioned, watching classic Babes in Toyland, March of the Wooden Soldier, excuse me, with Stan Laurel and Oliver Harley. Love them. Love that. I still not watching the Aquaman, Flash and Aquaman Lost Kingdom. Fuck the Flash thing. Fuck that. Because Ezra Miller belongs in fucking jail. What I've heard is that with Aquaman, they have removed all of Mira's parts. Damn. Um, will Del Toro ever direct another comic book movie? I don't think he needs to. If he wants to, that'd be great. But yeah, I don't think he needs to. How do you think? How do you think it feels to be a shapeshifter? Uh, if you're very insecure about yourself, you love it. You probably love it. You can shapeshift into anybody you want, just so you don't look the way you see yourself. Like that's why I was, you kind of question that sometime with some of these shapeshifters, like when you look at the shapeshifters in Marvel from outside of like Mystique. Mystique comes to mind, but at the end of the day, the blue skin, the yellow eyes, that's what she looks like. So, and I'm not gonna sit there and lie and say Mystique isn't hot looking. She does, she's hot. But she's shape shifting more to survive and things like that. But then when you look at someone like Jason Wingard, he puts up a facade to hide his elder, like he's older. Jason Wingard from the Hellfire Club. He puts that he puts up the mind bending and shape shifting so nobody can see what he really looks like. So you gotta look at it from that point of view. It's like, yeah, you have to look at it from that point of view. Like, yeah, some of them probably do it for secure, some do it probably because they're insecure about their own looks, what they look like. You know, they hide behind this facade. Uh, I want the new Spawn video game. I want a new Spawn. What was the last Spawn? I think I have the last Spawn video game, the one that came out for the Dreamcast. It was kind of like Super Smash Bros or something like that. It was when Capcom had the Spawn license. I still have it. Um, I Why do all solo Superman games suck? Probably because they don't get it right. They start out sometime good, but then you don't. They fail with it. Has the Haunt met Spawn? I don't think so. I don't think they've ever met. I prefer the original Vader turn in Return of the Jedi. No dialogue, but so intense. Don't like Lucas's changed version. Do you? And which ending do you prefer? Uh, I think the original is much better. I think that one's more better. And not him talking. You just hear, like that. That was kind of cool. That was much better. Usually the original, there's I don't know why they did it, but yeah. Do you and Malcolm play Cuphead? I play Cuphead. Malcolm doesn't play it. Malcolm, in terms of video games, the game he's on the most is Dodgeball City. This dodgeball multiplayer dodgeball game. We both like it. But every time I come home, that's what he's playing, and I hear him back there. Go, fuck it, come on! He's like he gets into it, and he likes Happy Wheels. He likes that. No, not Happy Wheels. Um, what is the game called? I forgot the name of it. It's like it's multiplayer game, but it's and the guy makes this. They run around. Woo-hoo-hoo, I forgot the name of it. Yeah, he plays that a lot. Fall Guys. He liked that. There we go. I think Haunt is a ripoff of Spawn and Venom. So Spawn is a ripoff of a lot of characters too. So yeah, most characters are that. It's called flattery. Imitation is a form of flattery. Spawn is a ripoff of a lot of characters. You name it. You can name. You could look. Just look at them. Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, Venom. There's you know. What villain would you have in a Nightwing movie? I just brought this up on Facebook. I was kind of writing to James Gunn. I said, "Dear Mr. Gunn and Mr. Safran, uh, as a huge Nightwing fan, I think it's time that he gets that solo movie that David always been promised. With the cancellation of Batgirl, we need someone else in the Bat family to roll solo for a while. It shouldn't just be a Batman world, and meaning just all Batman." And I said, you could do Tom Taylor's run where Dick is patrolling his own city, Bloodhaven, and the main villain would be Blockbuster. And probably Zuko's sister. Like I said, if you're reading Tom Taylor's Nightwing, that's where I got it from. There are two Swamp Thing movies. I prefer the second. Second one's better. The second one is much better. Better. The first one is very dark and grim, and but the second one, this first one felt more like Alan Moore's run, but the second one is more upbeat. But uh, Mr. Durek looked more like the Swamp Thing that we know, you know, and that was pretty much all him in that costume because Dick Durr is a big dude. He was a big dude. Um, there were some things about the movie. I mean, I don't mind not seeing a young Heather Locklear, but it was just like, okay, it's just, certain parts of it. I like the music too. The music's very, and I love the beginning song when the movie's playing. The credits, well, the opening credits, they're showing all the different comics, and and um and you're just seeing all the different times, lapse, all the how much Swamp Thing over the time, and uh and you got you got oh geez, what's his name? Creel Dance Clearwater playing Born on the Bayou. I love that song. That's one of my favorite songs here. And that I always felt like that song could also go to Gambit too. Born on the Bayou. I'm like, yeah, that works. If they ever finally get that Gambit movie, I wouldn't mind hearing that song. Born on the Bayou. Yeah, I love that song. I can hear that hound dog barking, chasing down the. Love that song. Let's see. Man Thing also had a movie. Yeah, that was a shit movie too. That movie was garbage. Somebody asked me to do a list, your top 10 worst Marvel movies, and it don't have to just be in the MCU. It'd also just be around. I'm like, oh Jesus, I need to do this list. There's a bunch of them I can get to. What villain would you have in the Black Canary movie and why? The Black Canary movie, I know you're they're talking about doing that Black Canary. See, that's where I would drop Lady Shiva in. Black Canary and Shiva had a tense rivalry. Go read Gail's Birds of Prey. You see it in there. They used to go back and forth. But yeah, that'd be great. I could see her being in that. Common Rider, Black Sun, watching it was very brutal. Okay. Funniest Shemp moment for me is when he was trying to wrestle the iron board. What the fuck? I think I remember that one. My Christmas tradition is I can open up one of my presents on Christmas Eve. I think that was everybody's, you know, but I don't get too many gifts on Christmas. I'm more of a giver than a receiver, and what I do get now, I'm very appreciative of it. I like seeing people's faces for the gifts I give them. Uh, Quentin, what is your favorite Johnny Depp movie? Favorite Johnny Depp movie? Uh, Edward Scissorhands. Young Johnny Depp. Edward Scissorhands is still one of my favorites. I love that movie. Next would be um um oh, Jesus, wait. Oh, god damn it. I had it. Uh oh my god. It's not Pirates of the Caribbean. I love he kills it as Jack Sparrow. Because there's nobody else that could play that role but him. But oh man, what is that movie called? It's a suspense movie too. Oh man, I forget what his name is, but he has split personality and he's a writer. But he sees John Turturro playing him. And I forgot the name of the damn movie, but it was a good movie. I like that movie. There's a couple other movies too that I love. But yeah, that's my favorite Johnny Depp movie is actually Edward Scissorhands. I love that. Mystique can't be trusted. No, she can't be trusted. There's only one person that she trusts, or that person, and that's her lover, Destiny. She don't even care for her kids or stepkids. Warhawk, what would it what would it look like if the Borg invaded the Marvel universe? The Borg, uh, I think they'd they put up a fight, but over time, over time, I think the whoever's in charge, the brains, especially the big brains of Marvel, will be able to stop this alien, or and especially the Hive Mother, the Collective, and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they wouldn't put up a fight, but it wouldn't be as you got to look at it from also a point of view as the Marvel Universe has dealt with things like that. The Phalanx, they've dealt. That's why it's always hard. It's like you got to remember they've dealt with, like, when someone says, "What would the Xenomorphs do in the Marvel Universe?" They've dealt with something like the Xenomorphs. You know, the Brood. So it's like, yeah. Do you know Liar? Liar Liar movie when he says, "Stop breaking the law. It's mine." It reminds me of Ezra Miller. Yeah, I remember Spawn being in Soul Calibur 2. Yeah, he was for the Xbox version. Each version of Soul Calibur 2 had a different character. PS2, which I had Hiachi. GameCube had Lynx. I had my man Link in that. It was great. And the Xbox version had Spawn. Not all Superman solo games sucked. The Superman Returns video game was pretty okay. Yeah, it was okay, but it got too repetitive. The best thing I love was just breaking the sound barrier, going up and breaking the sound barrier. But over time, it got repetitive. If you're gonna do a Superman game, an open world Superman game, you still can't like neuter it. You feel me on that? Like you got to keep it still somewhat Superman-esque. Um, what if Spawn and Null were in Smash Bros? Oh Jesus, that's crazy. Does the ending of Toy Story 3 hit you emotionally? Oh yeah, that made me cry. That made me cry big time because I started thinking back to my childhood when I got older, and I was like, I was looking at my He-Man or my Thundercats toys, and I was just like, I might have to give y'all up. Like, and you know, my He-Mans, my Ninja Turtles, all my action figures, my GI Joes, and my Snake Eyes, and I was like, I might have to give you up, Snake. So I know that feeling. That I still feel like in some way, if they weren't gonna keep it going, I still feel that it would have been great if when Andy was saying goodbye, Woody actually broke the code and was like, "Goodbye, Andy." And I know, yeah, people say, but then Andy would probably want to keep him then. But I would have loved them to have a conversation where he's like, Andy, and Andy follows him somewhere, and then they come out and just thank him, and but still Andy goes away. Like he explains, well, we know that we weren't supposed to, but we had to break the rule for you. That'd been great. But I was also scared when they all given up. They were like they gave in, like, we're gonna die, and I was like, oh my god, like, Joe, and but that got me. Still to this day, there are still animated movies that get me to this day. Like I'll sit there if you were to sit down with me and watch an animated film with me, uh, and there's scenes that'll come up. Like, for example, y'all were to sit down. If I was to put up a watch along of, let's say, the Iron Giant, y'all would see me start crying big time. That movie makes me cry every time. You know how many times I've seen that movie? Still cry to this day. The first time I saw it, I cried, especially at that end. Especially at that when when the giant is telling Hogarth, the what he told him, you stay, I go. no following, and goes off, and then you hear Hogarth saying, "You are who you choose to be." And what does he say? Superman. And he just like, oh, that gets me. I'm getting Missy out already because, but yeah, that was that. Love that movie. Iron Giant will get me all the time. It's a fun movie, but it will get you. And to think that movie, I don't know how that movie did not do well at the box office, but it has become a cult favorite. It just shows that sometimes movies that may not do well at the box office, but when they go to like Blu-rays and they become cult favorites. Same thing with Tremors. That's how Tremors got big. It got big after it was released outside of theaters. When it was in theaters, it was just to them, it was just like a creature feature. And now, even Kevin Bacon himself has said, you know, he really wishes he appreciated it more now because it was a part of his career that, he talked about how, when he did it, yeah, he's calling his wife and crying and saying, I'm working on a movie with giant worms. But now he now he appreciates it so much even more. That's why I know they were gonna do like a series where it focused on Val, his character, but it didn't get, you know, rest in peace, Burt Ward. Let's see. How do you think Dick Grayson's character would have changed if the Joker killed Tony Zuko before Dick could apprehend him? Ember Heard. He would have been a little. He would have probably been a little upset, but I don't think he. I think he'd be upset, and I think he would take his anger to a degree out on the next bad guy, next mafiosa boss or somebody like that. That that done another family wrong. The whole concept of why, as Bruce always says, the reason why he had to do that so he doesn't become like me. And kind of true. Dick is so different from Bruce. Dick smiles even in the face of battle. He's more like. That's why I always say, yeah, Batman and Spider Man. That was a cool crossover. But you talk about somebody who would be like a kindred spirit to Spider Man, Dick Grayson. They would get along well. That's why I said in my video about if Spider-Man was part of the DC, that would be probably Spider-Man's one of Spider-Man's go-to friends. How he is with Human Torch and Daredevil, Dick Grayson would be they would meet. Dick Grayson and Spider-Man would probably meet on the Statue of Liberty or something like that to talk to each other. I can see that. Has Miles Morales ever met Sue Richards? Yes. What will Tombstone and Hammerhead think of Yujiro? A threat? What actress could you see playing Shiva? Uh, for a long time, I said it was Michelle Yeoh. That's what I said, Michelle Yeoh. Yep, Michelle Yeoh. Um, you and Malcolm should start a Let's Play gaming channel together. I have a gaming channel. I need to get back on it. Um, and it's all about timing, and that's the thing. Is like when I have time to do it, I'll do it. Kelly, who no question asked. Yes and no. Kelly, I love Kelly. I got a super crush on her too. But you want somebody who's legit? There you go, Michelle, all the way. Which Three Stooge do you see more? Do you like more, Shemp or Curly? I'm always a Curly dude. Curly's always been my guy. I've always loved Curly more. Can the Monkey King beat Darkseid in a fight? Um, if Superman can, if Superman can stand up to dark side, then the Monkey King can too. And so, so yeah. And you spelled dark side wrong. I'm sorry. I don't like to be a grammar nut, but I am. You put dock side, Quentin. Sorry. Would you date a metahuman? Yes, I would. I've talked about that many times. I've said that. I've talked about that many times. If I was in metahuman, they call that in DC. So Black Canary is a metahuman. I would date Dinah in a heartbeat. The only thing I would be scared of is just, well, and you know, hitting, she getting to, and she starts screaming, and I'm just like, okay, be prepared. Yeah, um, I'd date a metahuman in a heartbeat. Ew, you mean the secret window? Oh, you mean my least favorite John D. Yeah, I kind of like that movie. That movie was interesting. I like stuff like that, twists and turns. Um, if I had a time machine, I'd go back and stop Johnny Depp. Tell Stan, don't marry Amber Heard. I think there's a lot of people that would say that, would do that too. So yeah, sorry guys. No, no, this is work. This is work calling me. Jesus Christ, texting me. I don't need to be text. Don't be texting me. Warhawk. What moments in movies make you laugh the most? Oh my god. That's tough because there's so many. But one where I will crack up laughing no matter how many times I've seen it. Y'all know Sleepaway Camp? If you've never seen Sleepaway Camp, I do recommend it. It's a very low budget, but it's a fun horror flick. There's a scene where I don't know why it's so funny, but and it's hazing. I don't know why it's funny to me, but every time I see it, it cracks me up. So they're 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 hazing. The kids are hazing another kid in the camp, and uh, they're going. They're doing like this thing, and then the kid, he's wearing glasses, and he's like, and they tell him, okay, when you stand up, 1, 2, 3, and stand up, and his whole face goes in his kid's butt, and I don't know why it's funny to me. I crack up on that. Anytime anything Ace Ventura, I will just crack the hell up on. The first the, the first, I don't know what it is. It's like the first time when Ace is at the apartment, and she's telling them, like, he's telling them like this is double pane soundproof glass. There's no way that neighbor heard, this person fall. And he's just going, ah, just like, yo, stop. It's just hilarious to me. Home Alone will always crack me up, especially when in the second one, when Harry, no, is it Harry? No, it's Marv is trying to get in the front door, and he's got the rope, and inside the rope, uh, uh, Kevin put a nail gun right in the front of the door, so when you pull the rope, the nails, and this one it shoots my right, and you know what? And he just goes, oh, and then he falls down, and another nail come right at his nose. He's just like, ugh. It's just the funniest. crack, I crack up all the time on that. There's a couple of scenes in Back to the Future. They're just funny scenes all Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade just cracks me up. So moments, yes, there are. I have so many movie moments that'll just crack me up. No matter how many times I've seen them, it makes me laugh every time. It's pretty funny, funny indeed. But yeah, that's a good one. Where is it? Favorite Legend of Zelda game. I always loved the first one, and Majora's Mask is good too. But I always will put the first one up there. That's what started it all. Always respect what came before to a degree. Just to, I've given up on a lot of toys in my life, but yeah, those are okay. Speaking of the Borg, the Borg Queen, the mother of Sleepwalker, yeah, and Leatherface mom in Texas Chainsaw Man. Which of these movies characters was her best? Um, well, think about the Texas Chainsaw. They got worse to me after that first one. I don't know. Like I watched them, but they just like I can't watch these. Now these are just full blown comedies. Don't get me started on the Next Generation with Matthew McConaughey. My God, you know, um, you know, it wasn't until the second one we started seeing Leatherface do that. That's what makes me laugh. I don't even find him creepy. The first one, yeah, but when he in the second one, making all that crazy just makes me laugh. I can't. I would say, I would say, um, she was great in the she as the Borg Queen. She was great. But when she started going ham in Sleepwalkers, oh my God, like biting hands off, like she went. I like Sleepwalkers, but once again, these are movies that Stephen King wrote. These are books from him, and a lot of Stephen King movie novels that have been adapted to movie. He does not like. He does not like. I know he loved Doctor Sleep, and that was a good movie. Doctor Sleep was good. I really enjoyed that. I hated Rose the Hat. I was like, this bitch. You know. So yeah. But yeah, I would say Sleepwalkers definitely. That was probably she loved doing that role too. She talked about that. Wasn't she in the Silent Hill movie too? Or was that somebody else? I could be wrong. Who is the craziest person Ezra Miller? Who's crazy? Ezra Miller or Amber Heard? I don't give two craps. Well, both of them can burn. What moments? Okay, I talked about that. You talked about Shiva, but what actress would play Shiva should they put her in live action movie? You talking about Shiva from Mortal Kombat? I don't know. They probably make her CGI as much as they did Goro, which I don't care for. I don't like any of those movies. I didn't like that remake movie. I didn't. Will the Baxter Building be in the next Spider-Man game? I don't know. Will Jason from Friday the 13th? I know who Jason is. You don't have to just say Jason Voorhees. Um, well, Jason from will he join the Black Lantern Corps? He can be that or the yellow. He brings fear. Did you like the Three Stooges movie from a few years ago? No, I did not like that. I wasn't a big fan of that with Will Sasso and all of them. No, I didn't like that. No. Worst wrestling creative mind. Recent Vince McMahon or unfiltered Vince Russo, unfiltered Russo. And the reason why I say that is because he never wants to take credit for shit that he did. He always said, "I didn't do that." Yes, you did. That's why I don't buy. I can't buy into anything Russo says. I'm like, you fucking liar. You did do that. And there's a lot of guys that say you did do that, and he always, nah, bro, I didn't do that. Fucking don't call me bro. You did do it. Favorite early Tom Hanks movie. The Burbs. Love the Burbs. I was watching that not too long ago. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the Burbs. That movie is so funny. That movie just cracks me up. There's another movie. Oh my god. Good Burger 2 is official. Script is done. Table read is done. Oh, so they finally got it done. Okay, that's cool. Good. Love the Hatchet series. I know you don't like them, but I love them. Never said I didn't like them. It's just I'm not a big fan of horror gore porn. It's just like, you know, give me something more than just gore porn. You know what I mean? You know, I don't mind that. Like I said, that's why I stopped liking really Texas Chainsaw Massacre after a while. Like after that first initial one, which is almost a masterpiece, and then they got worse the later on. Even the didn't care for the remake that Jessica Biel and all them were in. I didn't care for those. Grimlock and Kyle Rayner, all my favorite Transformers. My favorite Transformer character and DC character. I think everybody likes Grimlock. Everybody likes the Dinobots. And Hal and Kyle is my favorite Earth Green Lantern that gets shitted on. So how do you feel about the Green Lantern series now just focus on John Stewart? I hate it. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. And first, before anybody come and say, dude, you're black, you're supposed to support, don't give me that garbage. Don't not give me that garbage. We had if it's not Hal, it's John. They should have kept it what it was going to be, an anthology series. It was going to focus every 5 episodes or so on a different Green Lantern. The first part was going to be all about the original, the OG, the Golden Age Green Lantern. Much respect to Alan Scott. It's going to be about him. Then they were going to do others, Guy Gardner, all that stuff. But I looked at that and I'm like, really? You're doing John Stewart again? Really? Why? Why? Like, I like John, but it's like, what about Kyle? Huh? Like, what about Kyle? They always shit on this character. What about Kyle? Hell, I'll take a Simon Boz or Jessica Cruz. Give me something outside of just Hal Jordan, John Stewart. I would have even accepted Guy Gardner. Or how about Sojourner, the newest Green Lantern? Not just John Stewart. Come on. Like, it just, no. Are they really remaking Planes, Trains, and Automobile? The last time I heard they were thinking about it, I think it was going to start Kevin Hart and I believe Will Smith, but I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't. That's another one of my favorite movies. Don't do that. Don't remake the genius of John Candy. Come on, man. Stop. Do you have a Nintendo Switch console? Yeah, Malcolm has. Malcolm has mostly all the Nintendo consoles. I pretty much bought all of them from him. I don't. Who do you think? What do you think of Queen Bee from DC? She's cool. She's cool. She's all right. How do you feel about this? Is from Mask and Play. How do you feel about Lex Luthor in the next Titan series? Um, I saw that trailer for Titan season 4, and seeing Luthor looks dumb. Lex Luthor should not have these. Should not have this. Call me old fashioned. I can accept Lex Luthor with hair or a toupee, but I cannot accept Lex Luthor with a beard or goatee. Give me clean cut, clean bald, clean shave. Even Gene Hackman at the end ripped off the head to show the classic bald look. I saw that. I'm like, that's Lex Luthor. He looks like a hobo. No offense. It's just like, no. I got a funny joke. What if Will Smith slapped Rocky Johnson, the Rock Johnson in the Oscars? Oh, he wouldn't do that. He know better. Not true. He takes credit for Stone Cold. Heyman had a big hand in Stone Cold than Rusev. Yeah, yeah. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. He claims that it was all him to come up with the Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's not, because Stone Cold was already like that. Steve Austin was like that when he was just cutting promos in ECW. He's a liar. He's full of shit. He's just full of shit. He takes credit for all the good stuff, but he'll try to. But people call him out on the crap that he used to put out, he don't want to take credit for it. Like, how about the Viagra on a pole match? Who you think did that? He did, and that was when he was at WCW. What time is it? Oh, okay. Let's go another 30 minutes. Are you Native American on your mom's side? My mom's side. Mom's side. Yes, mom's side. Cherokee. Mom's side. Uh, I do not like Hal Jordan because he got a crampy movie. I do not like. Oh, I don't hate Hal Jordan. I don't hate him. I just feel like they're overexposed. Hal and Jon Stewart overexposed. We don't know. They're fans like me know everything about these characters, but the average moviegoer who are looking at Green Lantern, when they say Green Lantern, what are they going to say? Average person, they'll probably say Jon Stewart because they grew up with the Justice League cartoon. And who is the Green Lantern in that? Jon Stewart. Now, yes, in Zack Snyder's cut, whatever, we saw Jon Stewart as Green Lantern. But again, they don't give Kyle enough credit. Kyle was the torchbearer. He was the torchbearer when Hal nearly fucked up and destroyed the Green Lantern Corps. Who put it back together? Kyle did. He rebuilt them. That's why he's called the torchbearer. This guy has had almost every spectrum in the color spectrum, emotional spectrum of a lantern. He gets shitted on all the time. It makes me sick. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, do something with Kyle. They'll put him here, they'll put him here, they'll do this a little bit. Nah, you gotta go all in on Kyle. He's a great character. And if somebody's out there looking at it from, well, they want to introduce they probably want to bring a lantern that isn't white. Okay, Kyle fits that part. He's biracial. There you go. You're looking for somebody of color. Kyle fits that role. You don't want to go with Guy because he's a white guy from Baltimore. No offense to Bmore, but he's from Baltimore. He's white. Okay. Outside of Jon Stewart, okay. You got Kyle. Kyle, his father is Irish. His mother is Mexican. He's half Irish, half Mexican. There you go. Then yes, Simon Boz, fully what is he? Afghan? He's not just Muslim, but I forget what he is. Or Jessica Cruz, she's Latino, another Latino. There are others. Like, don't hand me that because I've had discussions like that, and people just like, well, they want to do this, and I'm like, then you can go with Kyle. You understand that if you're trying to showcase representation, okay, fine. There are a lot of mixed race people in this country, in this world, that could look at Kyle and be like, that's cool. He's representing his Irish and his Latino heritage. There's some people who are black and Asian or this and that. I knew somebody who was half black and half Persian or Iranian. To see that woman, that combination, that was beautiful. I was like, I used to tell her to, man, you're pretty. Like, right in front of her husband. Like, man, you're pretty. Like, see, I used to work with her. And I asked her, I said, Yara, what are you? Like, can you tell me like your ethnicity? She would say, guess. And I said, well, you're probably black. And she said, yeah, my dad's black. And she said, guess the other part. I said, "Ooh, what's your," and I'm like, Indian? I said Indian. And she's like, no. She said, you're going farther away. And I said, I don't know. I didn't. And then she said Persian. And I was like, wait, Persia, where's Persia? What's today's Persian now? I said, Iran? She's like, yeah, my mother's Iranian. I'm like, that was beautiful. And it's great. So yeah, you talk about, having, some representation, great. And let's have some for the biracial characters, you know. And if you say Miles, yeah, to a degree, but they focus more on Miles' black side than his Latino side. Look in the movie in Into the Spider Verse, they focus more on his black side than his Latino side. You you got to focus on both. Like that's what makes the combination great. Like I don't like when they do that. What do they call him? They call him the Black Spider Man. They don't call him the Black Tino Spider Man. They call him the Black Spider Man. Let's see. I want WB. I know W was attempting to remake Akira. Don't do it. Good God, don't do that. If you were an upcoming wrestler, would you rather trust Jim Cornette or Paul Heyman with your career? If I wanted to go more old school, probably Jim Cornette. But if I wanted to be a mixture of old school and new school, going Paul Heyman. But I wouldn't trust him to pay me. Just saying. Paul was his checks used to bounce. What will Michelangelo think of Kyle Rayner? I think Mikey would think he was cool, especially as an artiste as well, because Kyle is an artist. I don't like Reed Richards with facial hair. That's just me. Really, I like Reed with facial hair. That gives him to me a more distinguishing look. Reed, I have no problem with the facial hair, but there's just certain characters that don't never had facial hair, and they do it, and it's just like it don't work. Lex Luthor is one of them. Like if I see Lex Luthor with a bald and a goatee, if you ever go watch the trailer. You see, I'm just when you hear him like that's Lex Luthor, don't even no, that ain't it. Uh, I have a toy of Kyle Rayner from DC Multiverse. Yeah, that's great, cool. Jessica Cruz was my favorite. Is my heart. Yeah, Jessica Cruz is an interesting character because what I like about her is that she's a lantern, but she also has problems like anxiety. She has anxiety. Like you can't be a lantern and have anxieties like fear anxieties. So the fact that she's always overcoming her fear, her anxiety, just to put that ring back on. I love that. I'm like, that's cool. Still waiting on the trailer for Across the Spider Verse. I don't like. I mean, I like and respect the other lenses too. Yeah, we all do. Everybody has their own favorite Earthling Green Lantern. I've never been asked like who's my favorite alien Green Lantern. I have a couple of them, but it's always because when we think about Green Lantern, we're thinking about the Earthling Green Lanterns because there's so many of them. They do more. There's more Earthling Green Lanterns than any other race in the DC universe. But to me, I always say you have to show respect to Alan because he was the first, but he has nothing to do with the core. His powers comes from the Star Heart, totally different than what Hal and all the rest come from. But and plus, Alan is the father to also one of my favorite characters, Jade. You know, so yeah, but we all have our favorites. But in the medium, they push, they overexpose those that we already know about. Shouldn't be the idea of introducing new goers to the other Green Lanterns, like a Guy Gardner or a Kyle Rayner or a Jessica Cruz or a Simon Boz. or a Sojourner, getting her last name. But yeah, that's what I mean. Let's see. Uh, I mean, Kyle Rayner versus Sephiroth. Who wins? Depends. I don't watch Titan. Does John Critter still play Lex Luthor? I believe his Lex Luthor at first show too. Yeah, and I did not like that either. I did not like that. When I heard he was gonna be Lex Luthor, I was like, oh, cool, because he was Lex Luthor's nephew in Superman 4. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He's kind of come full circle. I like that. But when I saw him, I'm like, why does he got facial hair? Like, cut that off. And he was on Supergirl and all that, but Supergirl ended. And things like that. So let's see. Um Caroline, oh, I definitely have a lot of anxiety too, so I guess I'm reading that. Skyrim dropping the $5 for a super chat. I respect that. Thank you. Didn't have to do that, but thank you. I appreciate it. John Krasinski or Adam Driver for Reed Richard. John Krasinski better come back, as that better not just been a tease. That was a character many people been wanting him to play since. And when he came in that cameo as Reed Richards, I made me so happy. I was like, there it is. And he looked molto bene as Reed. I was like, perfect. He nailed it. I heard Adam Driver, there's talk that he could be Dr. Doom. And I'm like, Now y'all all know Dr. Doom is my all-time favorite villain in comics, number one. So I'm like, uh, Adam Driver does get real deep into his character, so I may could see him coming as Doctor Doom, but I would want an older actor playing him, someone a little older. Since Henry Cavill came back, I've been hearing that means that they're pulling the plug on Michael B. Jordan's Henry Calvin Ellis movie. Why not have both? We have we have two we have two about to be three Batmen. Yeah, I wouldn't have mind seeing. I don't. I've heard that rumor, and I forgot where I've read it from, but I would not stop that movie. We could see Calvin Ellis, who is also the president. But for me, I would want to see Val Zod. I feel Michael B should be Val Zod, not Calvin. Excuse me. Would Samurai Jack trust Kyle Rayner? Yes, he would. Will John Krasinski return for the? I hope he does when they finally because Fantastic Four is in phase 6. And I hope he does come. I want him back because you can't tease a variant of him of Reed Richards and then give us a different variant of Reed Richards in the main universe. Nah, Reed Richards, that he was Reed Richards in one universe, he should be Reed Richards again. He better. I don't. If Emily Blunt doesn't want to come and play Sue, fine. I could think of a couple other women that could play Sue. But the one thing I don't want her is just to be just a pretty face. That's how I felt about Jessica Alba. She was just a pretty face. She wasn't, and I want Sue to be a mother. The mother, like they already kind of. If you heard Reed even say, "Do you remember when she said, do you have kids?" He said yes. I just don't want, and I'm not saying that Emily Blunt isn't attractive because she is. That accent just, I'm melting her hand right now. No offense. That British accent will kill me. Y'all know I am about British accents. I'm putty in your hand if you start that. But if she won't want, she doesn't come back, fine. All I want from the Fantastic Four movie in general is the means of explaining where they've been. And the easiest way to explain where they've been why we haven't seen them is they've been trapped in the negative zone. Period. Where they got their powers, that's where they've been trapped there. And while time, um, well, it may have feel like it was just a day or whatever for them, or a few days or so. It was like years in the real world. Like there's so much way they can do that. They can pull the lost in space route, just stuff like that that can work. So when they come back, they're in this, it just work. And the other thing is, I want practical effects, more practical effects for Thing, and not just CGI and he looked like a big turd. Nah, don't give me that. You know. What would Doctor Doom think of Vandal Savage? That is a good. Ooh, oh my God. First of all, I think Doom would want to know more about this rock that gave Savage his immortality. Like, remember, Vandal Savage was just a caveman. He was just a Neanderthal, or you know, pre prehistoric man, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, and then that's the meteor that, and so he would probably want to know where that meteor. Doom would probably want to literally literally probably have Vandal Savage try to be his guinea pig, try to figure him out. Like, I could see Doom doing that. I definitely sure could. Can Kyle Rayner survive The Last of Us? He's a lantern. Yeah, of course he would. Which is worse, the Phantom Zone or the Negative Zone? They're both worse. Phantom Zone, you got this. Negative Zone, you got, not only do you got other, but you got Annihilus, you got Blastar up in there. So yeah, I think Johnny Depp should have played the Question. Vix, I could have seen him as the Vic Sage. I could have seen him. Who else I could have seen Johnny Depp playing in terms of like a comic book character? Um, I probably could have seen him play the Riddler. I could have seen him play the Riddler. Him or David Tennant, I think, could have played the Riddler. And not the goofy Riddler, like the Riddler. Like, you know, I could have seen that. But yeah, the Question's up there. I could have seen him as a Question. I guess Logan has no meaning anymore. Well, we don't know where this is coming, because it could be it could be a Logan from a different. It could be Wolverine from a time displaced where he never died. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it from. So we'll never know. Uh, so we don't know. Let's see. Who has the most underrated rivalry in comics? Underrated? That's a tough question. That's a tough. Um, I I would say Namor and Namor and Panther don't get enough credit because Jesus Christ, their rivalry was crazy. Um, and you can understand why. That's a tough question. Can't think of anybody right now. I really can't. Next, Mask and Play again. Favorite Arnold and who's DY movies? Who's DY? Do it. You what? I don't know who that is. So, uh, damn it. Uh, oh, Stallone. Okay, Sly. Favorite. That's there's so many. You forget. Can I call you MP? Yeah, MP. There's so many MP. You remember when did I grow up? So I'm an '80s brat. So you name the movie, I loved it. Look, you know, there's probably one or two Arnold movies I rarely watch. Well, there's maybe three. I'm not a big fan of Real Deal, Raw Deal. Excuse me, Raw Deal. I don't really watch that one too. Um, or what's the one with him and John Belushi? I forget the name of it. And I'm not that much of a fan of Junior. I was like, yo, that's don't put that in my head with a man giving birth to a baby. It's that's weird. But outside of that, you name the movie for Arnold, I love. Um, but if you want me to just name a few, Conan, that's the first movie I ever saw in my life. So, and that's why I still want his sword. You know the sword, Conan sword. I want that so badly. If you'll see it too, once I get it, guys, you see it. It'll probably be on this wall right behind me. Like, think. Of course, Terminator 2. I like Terminator 1, but I don't like Arnold as a bad guy. So yeah, there you go. Um, um, just all his movies, even Last Action Hero, that got panned at the box office, but I love Last Action Hero. I love because that's a spoof of a spoof of a spoof, and it's so funny. It's so good. Sly, Sly. I love Stallone. Like everything, I'll watch anything with Stallone in it. Like that new show he's got coming on soon on Paramount. Um, where he's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm definitely gonna watch that. I love Sly. From his Rocky to Rambo to Cobra, which he's said on because Sly Stallone has his own YouTube channel. He opened up a Cobra action figure, and he talked about. He's like, I always wanted to come back to this character, and I love Cobra. I love that movie, but it is kind of weird because it's like the villains in it. It's like, why are they after Brigitte Nielsen's character? I just never understood that. It was like, are they a radical racist group, or the way they talk is like we're the strong, only the strong survive, and the weak are to be killed. And I'm like, this don't make sense. It's just, but it was still fun. I love Cobra. That was great. Demolition Man. I love that movie to death. I love that movie. That movie is so fucking great. I can watch that movie over and over. I love both. I grew up with both, and I would love to meet them. I would love to meet both of them. It's funny they were rivals. We talk about rivals, they were rivals. I mean, sure, if there are some bombs that Stallone should have never done, and he only did it because he heard Arnold was turned it down. Want a prime example? Stop or my mom will shoot. When he heard Arnold turn that down, he took it. Just so Arnold is just like it's stuff like that. It's funny. So yeah. Um is one of them Arnold's rare uh is one of the Arnold movies you rarely watch Hercules in New York? No, that's not it. That's when Arnold could barely speak English. When he just kind of came from Austria. He was still doing the Mr. Olympic stuff, and you know, I remember I've seen both versions. There was one where he basically spoke very broken English, then the other one where they completely dubbed his voice, as Hercules. So it's like, yo, the fuck, but no, that's not it. Um, what does Vandal Savage? What makes Vandal Savage good? A good villain in your opinion? Smart. He's not just brains. He's not just muscle. And there are beings in there more powerful, but he's just smart. He's such a cunning, and it's the experience. Remember, he's been alive for centuries, So he's garnered, to me, he's more, as an immortal, he's more fulfilling as an immortal villain than Ra's al Ghul is. That's, yeah. I swear that on my mother's grave. I always looked at Vandal Savage more as an immortal villain, him over Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul isn't even a true immortal. If he doesn't have that Lazarus pit, that's it. Um, do you wash Jaden animations? What? What's that? I don't know. What, Quentin? I don't understand what you just said. Could Ray Fiennes make a good Charles Xavier? Ray Fiennes is a talented actor. Um, but I think people miss still. I think it's time for maybe an American to play Charles Xavier, because Charles Xavier is an American. He's not British. He's not British. You know, um, I would love to see. I always said I would. Brian. I would love to see Bryan Cranston play him, because Bryan Cranston get deep into character as well. But Ray Fiennes is great too. Mister who played him last, I loved him. He was great as a young Charles Xavier. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, just I think Ray Fiennes could do it. It's just, would he be willing to shave his head? You know, but again, once again, Doctor Strange brings up a lot of questions. Like, we saw a variant of Charles Xavier already. So does that mean that the variant that's in the current universe, in the main universe, is Charles Xavier? You know, Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart. Got to remember, he's knighted. Best Highlander villain, the Kurgan. Oh, no way. Ain't no way I'm saying anybody else. I think Rambo will survive the Oh my God, Rambo, the Punisher. First of all, Punisher would love that. He would be. I get to kill. He be out there hunting criminals. Just Rambo would survive the purge and get bodies, and probably go after the people responsible. He would go after the founding fathers. It's funny. I was watching Purge. I think Purge election year a couple of days ago, and I was like, it's still good. Do you don't like Arnold as a bad guy? Not even Mr. Freeze. He wasn't Mr. Freeze. He was a he if he had played Mr. Freeze like the Terminator, it would have been much better. He was not Mr. Freeze. He joking around. I was like, nah, that's not it. To me, it didn't even feel like I was supposed to really be feeling sorry for him. Remember, Mr. Freeze is supposed to be a very you're supposed to really feel sorry for the man, but you did. It did. Um, what will Kyle Rayner think of Luce from Owl House? I think he would find her to be pretty good. Like, you got heart. Probably he'd probably say, you probably could make a good Blue Lantern or Star Sapphire, or a combination. Who was the most underrated? What is the what? Who has the most underrated friendship in comics? I would say, for me, Beast and Wonder Man. Nobody talks too much about how much their friendship is like this. They're like this. Hank and Simon they're like, we always talk about Spider-Man and Spider-Man and this, Spider-Man and Daredevil, Superman, Batman, Luke Cage and Iron Fist, Misty Knight and Colleen Wing, all that stuff, all those greats, they're greats. But people sleep on Wonder Man and Beast. People talk about Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, all those, but yeah, Blue Beetle. But they don't talk about Simon and Beast. For me, I think it's Cassandra and Stephanie. Uh no, it's not because that's being showcased. I don't. Like everybody's entitled, but I just don't look at it like that. Emily Blunt didn't understand comics, so she wasn't interested after Endgame. She gets it now. If John, it's funny. It's funny you say that, but it's also to the point. You hear them say, "Well, I would never do it. I would never do it," and then all of a sudden, yeah, they're gonna. Sometimes they do that also to throw you off. Well, she's not interested. But the fact is, what would make a great sense is, yeah, they do play Reed and Sue. They're married, so being uh, on screen with your real life wife would play better into the real life of Sue and Reed. It would make sense where like you could, they're like when you go back and watch the original, the old school, the Tim Story Fantastic Four movie. I never really felt like Eden Gorefield, I think that's how you say his name. Correct me on that. Who played Reed and Alba had chemistry. I was like, they do not have chemistry. It does not. It does not. Just couldn't get into it. She gets it now. Yeah, that's it. Do you like characters with unseen faces? Example: Master Chief, Judge Dredd. If it means something, Judge Dredd, Master Chief, Snake Eyes, which it was supposed to be. You never, even in the past, even when Larry Hama created the character, for the comics, they always said you still never saw his face, even when it was two things that even happened to him before it got retcon. First, he it was a bomb that messed up his vocals, so he would never show his face anymore, and it also messed his face up. Then they said after his master was killed, he took a vow of silence and never showed his face anymore. So yeah, but yeah, I like characters like that too. I like Judge Dredd. That's why I felt I didn't like the first Stallone's Judge Dredd. Showed his face. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you showing your face for? You're not supposed to show your face. He's not. So when they did the remake, which I love, Carl Urban perfected it. I was like, there you go. You ain't never supposed to see Dredd's face ever. Anderson, no problem. But Judge Dredd, no, you ain't never. That's why when you see him he's putting they never zoom in. I was like, perfect, perfect. Uh, what time is it? 11. We'll go couple 10 more minutes. All right, go 10 more minutes, guys. Having a lot of fun. So, do you wash? You mean do I watch? S- Super Mario Logan. What? What is that, Quentin? What should be a movie's? What should be a movie? Are you excited for next year? What? What would be? I don't. Are you trying to say what movie am I excited for next year? What's one movie that I'm excited for next year? Um, I don't. Yeah, what is coming out next year? Isn't there a new Godzilla coming out next? I I'm gonna exclude like the comic movies. I'm because those are always gonna be something I'm gonna be into. Uh, I guess Scream 6. I'm definitely looking forward to Scream. That's definitely one. Um, The next John Wick, definitely, because I think that's been pushed back. Uh, I think Furiosa, she's getting her own movie. Uh, those are some movies I could think of. I'll even put Transformers Beast Wars up in there. I'm actually kind of interested in seeing how they're gonna pull that off. Beast Wars. The- Um, for JD is one of the rare cases of a movie remake being better than the original. Oh yeah, I totally agree. There's a few remakes or retools that I actually liked. Um, but now everything's more about requels, which I actually like. Instead of rebooting the series, they do a requel. Like they mix, they try to find a way to mix. So I actually like that. I mean, because there are a couple movies that you could kind of do that with to give an understanding, like, well, okay, what happened next? I'm excited for Blue Beetle. Yeah, I excluded the comic book movies because those are I'm always going to be excited for it. I'm talking about movies outside. I guess somebody was talking about movies outside. What is worse, Anna? Who is worse, Anna Sander movie? What is the worst Anna Sander? Who's Anna Sander? Let me see. Let me Google this name. I don't know who Anna Sanders. Are you I don't know who that is. I hated Kylo Ren's redemption and shouldn't have had one. He should have died. That's what he should have did. You shouldn't have no redemption. You killed your father, dude. Like fuck off about shit. Fuck off. Who should play Angela for Marvel? That's interesting. That's a character I actually want to see live action. We don't know. We did see her live action. Yeah, right. I think we did. She was in the Michael J. White Spawn movie. Who could? Well, she's redhead, so that's already right there as a bummer because redheads get trashed in movie. I'm serious about that. Uh, I don't know. I guess somebody who's willing to dye their hair red. I can't think of anybody right now. I can't. I hate that redheads don't. It's like you can't tell me you can't hire a real redhead to play the role. Like it just bothers me. That bothers me. I have a lot of rage in me, but at the same time I'm strong enough for forgiveness. Um, do you like the Shazam family as characters? Yes, I do. Um, I do like the Marvel family. I ain't calling them by that shit. Shazam crap. No. The Marvel family. Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm a little iffy when it comes to certain villains being redeemed. I don't mind it sometimes, but there's part times I don't. I'm like, why are you redeeming this character? You know, Kylo Ren's one. I'm like, the fool shouldn't got no sympathy from anybody. I do not like the Rob Zombie Hollow. I hate that. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of Rob Zombie's Halloween movie at all. I'm not. I would rather watch Resurrection over that, and that's saying a lot. I could take Buster being an idiot and kicking Michael and stuff, but I can't take the only thing I would say, yes, Tyler Maine, who played Michael, and he's a big dude. So yeah, you get it what makes Michael scary is that he looks like a normal sized man, but he's fucking like incredibly strong. Like he has like this inhuman strength. When you got somebody that big, you're expecting him to be strong. I hated that. I hated the fact that they showed him as a kid. I'm like, and he's beating up grown people. I'm like, wait, what? He was a kid. Will Mike Gargan and Herman Schultz return to the next? I want Scorpion so bad. I want to see the real Scorpion in the costume with the tail, all that stuff. Matt Gordon is underrated. Yeah, he is. Um, will Apocalypse be? Would Apocalypse be willing? Would be a good villain for My Hero. Again, it depends, but I could absolutely see him trying to get several of those people for like to me his version of Horseman. For someone who's been around for so many years as a mutant, he's like one of the oldest mutants. He's not older than Celine, but he's old. He's not that very bright because, like I said, anytime he makes a new members of his horsemen, they always are composed of heroes, and they don't always work out. I remember when Wolverine joined his horsemen, he was Death, I believe. Wolverine only did it so he can get the adamant claws back in him, and once he's done, goodbye. Stupid. One live action anime I really really hate is yeah, who doesn't hate that Dragon Ball? Stupid whitewash garbage. How would you react if you met an alternate version of yourself? Uh, yeah, I kind of already write stuff like that. Like I got like I already have like you y'all right here. I'll show you right now. This is a notepad of one of my variants. Read what that says. Earth 352. This is a variant of me. I have made variants of me for nearly 3 years. This is the last one I made. Earth 352. So there are 352 Earths that I have created where on that Earth, some things have changed about me, some things are not. And it's not just me, but it's also family. Like there are some Earths I wrote where my brothers never died and still lived and went on to have kids and everything. Or many Earths where my mom lived and went on to do this. There are some Earths where Malcolm never lived. There's an Earth where I'm not even my variant's not even named Chris. So I'm named after my dad, Lawrence. So I'm called Lawrence Jr. Stuff like that. Just crazy stuff. There's a lot of Earths. So yeah, I know that feeling, but um yeah, I get crazy. Like my creative juices get flowing and I start, oh, I gotta write that down. So it's weird. But yeah, if I met a variant of myself where he's like this, like he's an assassin or something, I would kind of be like, whoa, like, oh shit, like, whoa. I'm like, why are you here? Or who's the target? Because basically I'm the prime. That's the point. You're the prime, no matter what. Variants, you're the prime. They are different than you, but and much not so different. All right. All right, guys, get your last questions. I'm gonna answer these right now. Uh Perry, I hope they give us a proper rhino. And yes, I do want a proper rhino. I don't want a mech suit and a guy in a mech suit. No, I want big guy, big guy, rhino suit, suit that's been put on him because that's what it is. It's a part of him. He was part of a project, and that suit's basically his skin now. So there you go. Boom. I don't want a mech suit guy. Akuma versus Ashura from Ashura kill him. Yeah. Apocalypse is as powerful he seems to be. He doesn't seem that powerful, and when he does get into fights, he gets defeated. Apocalypse is. There are times I wonder, like, they need to really maybe calm down on like what makes him so powerful. A lot of that stuff is from his celestial armor that he wears. He has celestial armor, so yeah, it kind of gives him up. Aside from actors being vain, they never went to Power Ranger school. They don't know how to extra act when their facial face are covered. Tom Holland probably uh attended Power Ranger school. He's good with yeah, he's yeah. Maybe there's an earth where I'm thinner and less autistic, but I'm not complaining. That's right. Yeah, don't yeah. There are things I wish I could change. Like I wish I was taller, a little taller sometimes, but I'm not. I accept that. Been accepted that for like years. You know, sometimes we just see the world a lot differently. I know I do. As a short guy, I see the world way different than other people. And I've always said I really probably wouldn't want to be a tall guy over 6 feet tall or something. Because I hear it all the time from friends who are 6 feet. And I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, oh, my knees hurt. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Like my back hurts and things like that. I don't envy that at all. Especially even if you're young and they say my knees are hurting. Pressure on your knees. How would you introduce the lizard into the MCU? Uh, right now, I'm not worried about characters that we saw already. I'm worried more about characters we haven't seen. That's where I'm really worried about. Lizard wise, again, I could see Lizard coming in like maybe if when they introduce more mutants. And hear what I said? Introduce more mutants. Uh, might be another universe where I won the tag titles in TNA. In fact, with Sting, there's a couple of Earths in my world that I'm actually a professional wrestler, and one of them is I'm tag partners with my brother. So I mean I liked uh I like to be thinner. Then then you know what you need to do? Go to the gym, work out at home, set up a regimen, set up a routine. Start slow. You start slow. Look online if you maybe start looking at a diet or so that suits you. Look online. Start a regimen. Start if it's like a push-up challenge. There you go. Look up the push-up challenges. Those easy push-up challenges. Start slow. You don't have to just go to the gym. But yeah, if you want to try to lose weight, there you go. And always have something that motivates you to do it. Like do it. You do it once and you feel like, oh, I can't do it. Motivate yourself. Once again, what did I just say earlier? The toughest opponent is yourself. Hobgoblin, definitely Hobgoblin. I want Hobgoblin so badly, and I want Hobgoblin. I don't want Power Ranger Goblin. That was one of the biggest mistakes they did was make Green Goblin look like something out of Power Rangers. You can do the real deal. I want to see Hobgoblin tannish orange hood with the mask, blue, orange glider. I still want to see Hobgoblin. I think I have to put up a list, guys, of that. There's Lorenzo Smalls, another subscriber and Patreon. He asked me to do a list characters from Spider-Man rogues that I still want to see live action. Hobgoblin is number one. I'll spoil that for you. I'm gonna put that up tomorrow or sometime this week. Frieza. Upon finding all dragon, I want to see a news. Okay. Did you ever watch Space Jam growing up? I love the original. I don't really care for the one with LeBron. I love the original though. All right, we're gonna end it there, guys. Thank you for watching. If you do have additional questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I will answer them down there. But I'm little hungry. I'm still kind of hungry. Gonna catch me some snacky snacks, go chill, and probably hook up the game for a while and catch up on some of my reading, my comics and stuff. And that's it. But in the meantime, guys, if you're going out trick or treating, be safe. Don't be idiots out there. Don't be stupid. Don't throw toilet paper on your neighbor's house or things like that. If you're taking your little cousins or brothers or anything out there trick or treating, make sure they're having fun and safe. Just make sure you're having fun, but also be safe around them. And outside of that, you guys take care. Have a safe and happy Halloween. I will be back next month with uh, two more open mics. The first one of November will probably be around. Probably be. I'm gonna make sure I get the date right now, so you all won't. It'll probably be the 13th of Sunday of November. Um, and the last one will be right at the 27th. Yeah, so there you go. You got your dates. But in the meantime, my pack, your alpha says peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real. And as I said before, happy Halloween.